Hello and welcome back to the Unashamed Podcast. Today is a special day because we have Jaime Callica.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for coming on and doing, honestly, what is charity work.
I'm happy to be here.
Happy that you're here. Do you kind of, for people that don't know, do you kind of want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Jaime Callica. I am an actor,
Yes.
an only child. I call myself the world's biggest mama's boy.
Yeah.
So, Belle is my favorite princess from Beauty and the Beast.
Why Belle?
She was so selfless. She was beautiful,
Yes.
young. She loved to read. She didn't care about Gaston, and she was willing to give up her own life to save her father's, who had already lived his whole life. She still saved the Beast, even though he was mean to him. They fell in love. And she's just so pretty.
She's perfect, honestly.
Belle's
She's
perfect.
one of my favorites.
Listen, let me find a Belle out there. I'm getting married in like 2 months. We're having babies 10 months later. Let me find if you're a real life Belle out there, you hit me up, please.
What about, I've been following you for a while. What about Janet Jackson? Belle or Janet Jackson?
Ooh. Listen, man, Janet's like the first love of my life. Like I remember being a little kid, hearing her voice and seeing her perform, and I was like, that's mine. And my mom was like, not yours. You could watch her.
No,
not yours. But I was instantly in love. Like I know that love at first sight exists because of how I felt about Janet Jackson. So to answer your question, it would have to be Janet still.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's getting a little older, but she has money, and we could figure out the fertility. Like there's doctors that can figure out us having a baby.
They're so different though. So Belle is so selfless. Yeah. She doesn't care about looks, doesn't care about image, doesn't care about money. And then there's Janet, which I'm sure love her. She's great, but I'm sure she's the complete opposite.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that they both have qualities, attributes that I love.
Yeah.
But if I had to go 51 to 49%, it would still be Janet. Cause I saw her first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like had I seen Belle first, maybe this conversation goes differently, but I saw Janet when I was like 4 or whatever it was. And that was it. Love.
What about Jasmine? She's my favorite.
Jasmine, listen, Jasmine's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love Jasmine. And I'm not trying to hate on your favorite, but
no, I don't care. She
was a brat. Like she had everything and still just wanted to get away from it all. And I can understand the why.
Yeah. She just wanted a normal life.
She just wanted a normal life, and I could get that. I more than understand that. But I think that maybe because of my upbringing, like I had nothing, I understand the pursuit of from nothing to have something.
Same.
You know what I mean? Versus like if I was born into it, it's kind of. But I get it. You see some of like Will Smith's kids and a lot of these entertainers and actors, or even just entrepreneurs that have these brat children. You're like, yeah, they were born with the spoon in their butt. Like I get it. I get why they act like that. They had no hustle. They had no reason to grind towards anything.
Yeah. No, I feel that. And that's also what I worry about. I want to make it so big that, my kids don't have to worry like I did. But then I'm worried that they're going to be so spoiled.
Listen to me. I had this conversation last week. Who was I having that with? I can't remember. But I was on the phone impassioned. I'm walking around my apartment. I'm walking around my house like flustered because I'm like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to raise these kids? Like, I'm going to be the biggest actor in the world one day.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to be.
Yes, you are.
And we're going to have, whoever I'm with, we're going to have financial means. Mm-hmm. How am I supposed to instill the values that my mother instilled in me, which were get up, make your bed, brush your teeth, take a shower, look at your books for 20 minutes, get on the bus, go to school, work hard at school, come home, go to sports, whatever it is. When we're going to have cooks.
Exactly my point.
And drivers.
Yes.
And assistants just around always. Like a staff of at the minimum, like really and this is not to sound bougie, but like at the minimum, just what I just said, 4 or 5 people in the house at all times.
Yeah.
How are they supposed to be motivated towards like not being little shitheads? Like, and I was struggling, and they were like, Jaime, do you have someone pregnant right now? And I'm like, no. And they're like, then stop worrying. Because I was
I'm the same as you. Like, I go through this at least once a week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, they're not going to school. I don't want them to go to, regular school, but only after school activities.
Right.
Because school's bad. I think school's bad. There's bullying. There's bad influences,
Yeah. And the flip of that is if you send them to private school,
Yeah.
Then they're going to be with a bunch of other little kids like them. It's kind of like when prisoners, like you go to jail, like you go to jail for like, say, like petty theft.
Yeah.
And then you come out and now you know how to murder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now you're a real criminal.
Now you're a real criminal. So now my kid just didn't know how to make his bed. And now he goes to school with these other trust fund babies that have like old money.
Exactly.
Teach them all these tricks. Now they're doing cocaine. And I'm like, oh my God, I should have never sent them to private school.
Exactly.
So I might have to homeschool them like you.
Exactly. It's a struggle. It's a real struggle for things that don't even exist right now.
Right? And not for like, and really not for like, even if you got pregnant today. But like say if I got someone pregnant today and you got pregnant today. We're talking like 11 years. You know what I mean? Like before they're 10.
Exactly. It's all the stuff. Actually,
11 years.
From 1 to 7 is when they become who they are.
Yeah, sure. The most formative years. That's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's why.
But at least they would be in school for the first 6.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it really matters upon you.
Yes. We got 7 years to get this right from today.
That's actually hilarious. I wanted to go into your mother. You call her Ma Callica.
Yeah.
I love so much how much you love your mom. And I think that is the most important thing. Even when I was single, that was the most important thing for me. How is your relationship with your mom?
Yeah.
Not dad. I don't really care. You know, girls, dad for sure. But for guys, mom.
Right.
And how do you think, first of all, how did that happen? How is your mom? Like, what did she tell you every day? How did she get so much respect from you?
My mom used to hit me a lot. Like I got licks.
Oh, no.
I got spanked.
She looks so nice.
No. Don't let that sweet, beautiful 5'2" lady fool you. She used to put her hands on me a lot growing up. And that's part of the culture. For everybody listening that's like not in a culture that spanks their children. Like my mom wasn't abusing me. I was misbehaving. I would act up and then that would be the punishment.
Yeah.
You know, it was pre the 2000s. And discipline was instilled very young. And I remember once I was probably 10 and she's spanking me for disobeying her, whatever I did that particular time to be getting spanked and then grounded. I was grounded all the time. I wasn't a bad kid. I was just mischievous. Like she would say, "Oh, don't wear that ring my aunt gave me in Trinidad," and then I would wear it to like the playground and I would lose it.
Oh,
so now I'm getting spanked and grounded. You know what I mean? So it was little things like that.
Yeah.
But I remember this one day. I was probably 10 or so. She goes, "I'm your mother. I'm not your friend. My job isn't to be your friend. It's to raise you. I'm not like Christopher Appleby and your other little friends at school and they call he's actually a real friend."
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Christopher.
No. Hey, Christopher Appleby, man, I haven't talked to you in 20 years. Get at me. But they would be like calling their mom Susie and like talking back and stuff like that. And yeah, I'll never forget. My mom used to give me licks in public until I was like 14. So I learned early that there's a correlation. And again, people might not agree with this, but children don't understand the definition of discipline. They know
I agree,
fear.
Yeah.
And while some may not agree, you can't negate that. A 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old is not going to understand the word discipline, but they're going to understand the look on mom or dad's face when they act up. And that's fear. And I think that's what's happened in society nowadays. Kids don't fear their parents because they'll just be like, "I'm going to call the cops if you blank."
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Never in a million years.
Yeah. And they don't fear their parents anymore. And for all of time, we did.
Yeah.
Before now.
Yeah.
So she instilled that in me, but she also, on the flip of that, if we call that the bad stuff, she, from like 4 years old, told me that I was born for greatness.
See, that's the key.
And she's never not told me that.
That is key.
Like if I went into my phone right now and just showed you if I just did this, a random WhatsApp message between my mom and I about one of my auditions, because I've had a ton of really dope auditions recently. And she's like, "Yo, you're the best. Like when that right job comes, you're going to blow and you're going to blow big." And she's always been my number one cheerleader. She's never told me not to do something if I wanted. You know, I used to be in business. Go ahead. I want my first degrees in criminology. She was like, "You want to be a lawyer? Go ahead. You want to be," at one point in my life, I wanted to be a gynecologist. You know, I really love women. I'm sure we'll get to that. So I was like, hey, if I could just be like around naked women all the time as a profession.
You wouldn't like the vagina after that.
But see, that's the thing. Yeah. I didn't think about that. It wasn't until like I might have been 14 or 15 that my mom was like, "You realize that a lot of the women that are going to come to you, they're coming to you with like sick vaginas."
Yes. Like there's something wrong
with
their kooky.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I never really considered that. I thought it was just going to be like a lot of like really voluptuous, sexy women coming to see the doc. And she was like, no, they don't want to go there. Like, they'll be okay to see you if you're handsome, but like, they're not well. There's something not right. And I'm like, so then I changed the law.
Yeah.
Literally, that was it.
That's good. That's a good choice.
So she's always been the driving force and my motivation. Everything I do for her. I want to better her life. She raised me by herself. She took care of my sick grandmother while she was alive. She raised me. And my biggest motivation is to retire her.
I love that.
Once I do that, I feel like my life is kind of not complete, because I look forward to being a dad more than anything. Like, I feel like I was put on earth to be a dad, but I'm like one step closer to like being good. Like, if she's retired and she's set up and I have a kid, you know, I don't want to meet my maker. I don't want to die, but like, I could go and know I've already lived my whole life.
I love that.
Everything after that's a bonus.
Yeah. And so if you did have children now, do you think that she would be there and help raise your kids?
Listen, she loves the kids that I don't have yet more than me. Like, she can't wait. Yeah.
Wait, who's kids?
Exactly. Like, she loves her future grandkids so much already.
Yeah.
And she looks forward to being a grandma, and she's going to spoil them and take care of them. And she's going to promote me having like nights out with mom so that she can just have the kids to herself.
I love that so much.
Oh yeah. She can't wait. That's like the biggest thing she looks forward to right now.
Yeah.
Being a grandma.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It is really good. That's like my boyfriend's mom. She's just waiting.
Waiting.
Actually, my boyfriend.
Yeah, that's on you right now.
No, my boyfriend's brother. They just got pregnant. So she's so happy.
Congratulations to them. That's awesome.
Amazing. They were actually going to get married this summer in Europe, and I was so excited to go. But she got pregnant.
Oh, but she got pregnant.
Yeah. Euro trip canceled.
Yeah. It'll still happen.
Yeah.
Or it should still happen. Maybe still happen. But I guess it'll be different now too, because it'll be a kid.
Exactly. Well, she'll be like 8 months. So I don't think that she'll travel.
But after the baby, I should say.
After the baby, maybe next year.
Yeah.
So now it's being postponed 2 years.
Right.
It's okay. I'll go to Europe soon.
You will.
I feel it.
I'm actually trying to go in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, a cousin of mine, he lives in Italy, which is my favorite country in the world. He's in the U.S. military, and he's stationed in Naples. Okay. And he went right before COVID. I would have thought that by now I would have already visited Prince 4 times, and not 1 time because of COVID. So I'm gonna get over to Austria. I have a few friends in a couple different countries, and I'm looking forward to doing a little trip soon. So
that's
I'm trying
amazing.
to let the COVID dust settle, and once I feel like okay, I can go and it's gonna be comfortable, fun, safe, then I'm out of here.
I want to get into I love this, and I try to see them every Wednesday. Sometimes I miss them, but your Ask Jay a Question Day Wednesday. I love it so much because so many people love it, and they always have such great questions, and they get really fucking into it.
Yeah. I started that. So I moved to LA in 2019. Yeah. And you hear the stories about how big and like lonely LA. They make movies about it. Like you watch La La Land, and it's like all about being lonely. Can't make it in the big LA. And I didn't think it was like hyperbole. Like I thought there was some truth to it, but I really didn't realize how 100% that was.
Really.
And I moved there, and I had never been more lonely in my whole life. Wow. Yeah. So lonely that I flew back to Vancouver every 2 weeks for the weekend, like Friday to Sunday or Friday to Monday. Yeah. Just so I could see my mom, Arch, my boy Birch, like a few of my people. Okay. Because the solitude and isolation were killing me. Fuck. And if you think about this, I say this stat all the time, but most people really don't understand how lonely I was. Imagine in your life, a day, waking up and going to sleep, never having seen a single person you know. I can do it. Really? I fucking love it. Oh my gosh, not me. I'm such like a loner. Like if I'm around too many people, I lose myself. Right. Like I just feel so not me, and I want to cry. Man, I wanted to cry for being so alone. Yeah. And I think not to speak to your experience, but like that you could call a friend. Yes. Right? You could call a friend, boyfriend, family. I had nobody. That's like I still didn't even have the option. You know what I mean? And I went down there actually kind of chunky, and I started going to the gym twice a day because it was the only time like I would just be around people. And I'm quite shy, so like I never talk to people, but it was just nice to be on a treadmill beside whoever. And after the first couple of weeks, you start to see the same faces because I'd go in the morning, lift, and I'd go back in the evening and do my cardio. But it was so lonely that I had to go back and forth. So one day I was chilling around the pool and I was going through Instagram. And I didn't even know that question box existed. And I just did like ask me anything you want. And I might've gotten 15 or 20 questions. And my following at that point might've only been like, it was much lower than it is now.
Yeah.
And I had fun with it poolside. And then I did it again, not on the Wednesday, maybe like another day. And I got like 30 or 40 more questions. And then I asked people like, hey, if I did this weekly, would you guys play with me?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. And they have. And I've done it every single Wednesday with the exception of Wednesdays that I'm on set filming.
I've seen times where you're on set and
I still try to rock it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Or I've had a couple of weeks where like I've been kind of sad and I knew, because what it's become is this thing that like, people are getting to know me, which is fun. But it's morphed into this it's like the thing in people's middle of the week that like makes them smile. Like they get to just watch this and be entertained by it. It's become another mode of entertainment for a lot of people. And I'll do it most days, even if I'm not feeling up to it, because I know that a lot of people look forward to it. But there are some days where I'm just like, I'm feeling really down. I didn't book that job or whatever it may be. And I know that I couldn't give them the energy that they need to be good. So I just don't do it.
I mean, I think that's fair because I feel like you can, even if it's through a phone, I think you can feel energy. You can feel vibes. And so I think that people need that energy from you. Yeah. And so if you came at it half-assed, I think
they'd know right away.
They'd be really sad too.
100%. And I've actually done it. I've actually gotten messages from people. Like I would have say I started it and did the first few questions and I'll get DMs from people like, are you okay? Like you don't look the same, or your like eyes look sad. Like you're smiling, but your eyes look sad. And I'm like, man, you guys got that? I am sad today.
Oh, that's so sad. I'm so sorry.
And it made it more sad than like they knew I was sad and I'm like faking it. I can't even just be sad on the internet. Because I pride myself on being real. Like that's one of the things. Like when I'm sad, I'm sad. When I'm heartbroken, I'm heartbroken. Yeah. And when I'm killing it, I'm killing it. When I'm gardening, I'm gardening. And I pride myself on being like the realest me in a world where people are like, oh, social media isn't real. There's a few people who like, I'm one of those people that you're like, no, I can tell you one guy that's like pretty real. Like, this guy like talks about his mom and in the next sentence could be talking about boobs. Like, I don't know anybody as real, so I try to make that my page as real as possible. Yeah. But it's really wild how many people can pick up when I'm actually not feeling it.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but I love that about life.
I love it. Sense, yeah. I love it. If I get to make people laugh, I'm having fun, and the comments and the DMs, just knowing that people are watching it, it makes me happy. So it's a lot of fun every Wednesday.
Yeah, that's good. I love it so much. I want to get into your dating life as an actor. Was before you were an actor, was your dating life the same as it is now?
No.
So like before you would get less dates and then now it's a bunch of groupies?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Before I was an actor, it was on the merits of just like me as a person.
Okay.
Right? So if you thought I was handsome, if you thought I was attractive, I approached you at a bar, library, wherever. If we spoke and you like how I spoke, the things I stood for, my relationship with my mom, my relationship with God, it was on the merits of me. You either liked me or you didn't, right? And I'm cool with that. And I've said this for years. I know that I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. I want to be more exclusive than to be so generic that everybody would like me.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As an actor, now the problem is I never know who's really like into me for me and the merits of me, or who's into me because like they and their friends or family like watch me on TV weekly.
See, that's savage.
Yeah. And sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, how are you gonna tell the difference?
I don't know. It's why you see the LeBrons and so many people like marry their high school sweethearts because they were before it all. And I know I'm not painting every woman with the same brush. That's not what I'm about to do. But it is impossible to unhear something. It's impossible to unknow something. You know what I mean? Like if I just say, don't think about porcupines right now.
That's all I'm thinking about.
All you think about porcupines. Yeah. And if the second I say I'm an actor and you say, have you been in anything I've seen? Which is like the first question everybody asks, which is okay.
I feel like I asked you that.
Everybody.
And then I think you said Lucifer. That's my favorite fucking show in the whole world.
You can't unknow it.
Exactly.
And while not everybody is going to target me, like I am getting targeted. There have been chicks, and I always kind of shake my head because part of me is like, we could cuss on this, right?
No, of course. I said fuck 100 times. Yeah.
Like there are some people that I'm like, and I'll talk to my boys, only my boys, and now I guess the internet, but I'm like, I'm totally just going to fuck that girl because she never wanted to talk to me before, but now she's always in my texts or my DMs, and I'm going to fuck her and never date her.
Yeah.
Because the quality of who she is trash. Because I haven't changed.
Exactly.
I'm still the same person. Like I'm still the same joker. I still love my mom. I still love traveling. I still love boobs. Like I'm the exact same person. The only thing that's different is I'm on TV now.
Yeah.
Which means she's the ass, not me.
100%.
And the while I recognize that not everybody's gonna target me for it, they can never unknow it. And on the flip of it, is there are a lot of people that are like, oh, I could never date an actor. So it's not all like sweetness. It's not all like they're just coming for me. There are a lot of people that are like, oh, you probably the most common comment I get all the time is like, oh, you have so many women that love you or so many women that want you. Like, why would you be interested in me?
Oh, I think that's sad on their part.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, because I am. Like, I'm trying to talk to you.
Yeah.
If I wanted to talk to them, I would. I'm talking to you. So that's also like, I would say 51, 49, like that's probably the 51, actually. The bigger part of the hurdle is that people now also like are distrusting because I'm an actor. I'm like, you realize that there are like 8, like if you Google it, there are 8 or 9 professions that cheat more than actors. Like we're pretty solid. Like lawyers, dentist is number 1.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dentists cheat more than anyone. They've been married and divorced more than anyone. Dentists, then lawyers.
I can see lawyers.
Engineers, plumbers.
What the fuck?
PE teachers. Like there's a list. You can look. And actors is way, way down there. And the assumption is like models and actors that just because say some of us, I'm not even including myself in that, might be attractive, that what? We just like go to set and then we're working with a pretty girl, say like you, and all of a sudden like we're in my trailer and we gotta fuck. No, it doesn't, like we're still at work.
It's still a place of work.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We're at work.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think happens?
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, like any work environment, if you have a genuine connection with someone, whether it be at the office for Apple or on set shooting my show, if you have a genuine connection, then cool. But it's not like this rampant problem that a lot of women think that men can't just control themselves around their female castmates. It's not a thing.
But you see, but like even for me, it's like embedded in my mind, like athletes, actors, all those types of things.
Yeah.
They cheat.
Yeah. And honestly, I'll say this. I would say the athletes, and I'll tell you why. It's because you go from city to city daily. Yeah. And you have access. And a lot of people, not just men, a lot of people, if you have that level of access and you don't have like good values and morals, then you're going to do what you do. Right?
Exactly.
So athletes, I could see if you're a little bit weak and you're playing a game and you're in, you're playing in Portland a day and then 2 days later you're playing in Washington and then you're playing in LA and then you're playing in Texas and then you're playing in Miami and then you're playing in Toronto and so on and so forth. You go out with the teammates, there's pretty girls throwing themselves at you. Cool. But actors, we don't operate like that.
That's actually true.
We go to set, like I go to the studio, there's multiple levels of security just for me to get through the security gates. I go to my trailer, I go through hair and makeup, then I go to set to do what's called a blocking. We kind of work out the scene. I go back to my trailer for half an hour while they set up all the lights. I'm running my lines. I go to set, I do all my stuff for the day, 12 hours. I get out of hair and makeup, and then I get in my driver's car, bring it back to the hotel, and I run my lines for the next day for 2 hours, and then I go back to set the next day, and I do that for the duration of my shoot. It's not, there's no like wiggle time. Like,
yeah, you're not partying after
2 hours. Yeah, you watch a basketball game for 2 hours. They could go out if they want. My work day is 14 hours a day. I promise you. I don't want to hang out. I don't care how sweet she is. I don't want to hang out with anybody.
Yeah, you're like, I want to fucking bed.
I want to go drink some wine, be prepared for tomorrow, and go to bed.
Exactly.
And if I have somebody in my life, great. You're waiting at the hotel or my house, whatever. We could cuddle a little bit. But other than that, it's not what people think. Not with those hours.
That actually makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember with athletes, I think I saw maybe a TikTok video was like after the games, they have these secret parties where all these females get invited to, and you can't tell anybody, you can't bring your phone, you can't do anything, and they all just fuck each other.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right.
Yeah. It's like really organized in that regard. Even again, I'm not trying to make actors look great and make musicians or like rappers or athletes look bad.
Yeah.
But I'm just speaking to like the truth. And if you're doing a show in Vancouver and then you're going down the coast of the West Coast after your show at Rogers and you're going to the club and there's companies, like I know people that hire the girls to bring the girls to that restaurant.
Exactly.
Wherever, that lounge, whatever it is. And then they go and everybody knows what's going on. And then they leave and now their next show is in Tacoma and then in Seattle, the Gorge, and then down the coast and then across. It's access.
Yep.
Actors don't have that level of access. Now, when I'm done my show, right? If I'm in a city, if I'm in Atlanta and I'm finished rapping, or I'm in LA or I'm up here or wherever, and I'm not working, then cool. I could try to exploit my come up as much as I want.
Yeah.
But the way people think about it is not the way it is for actors, for sure.
Well, I learned something new today, so thank you.
My pleasure.
Dating. And we were in dating.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we were doing. This is kind of a question I like to ask everybody. In your dating life, what would you say is your worst date?
Oh, that one's easy. So I went on this date. What was it called? It was a restaurant in Vancouver. Okay, it's where Black and Blue is now. It used to be called Salt Lick.
Okay.
So I went and I love prime rib. So they only had prime rib on Fridays and Saturdays. So I asked this girl on a date. It's our first date. We've been talking maybe a week. We go to Salt Lake for prime rib, and being that I used to go there, there was at the stairs kind of converged. They go to the top, and there was a table that overlooked upstairs the whole restaurant downstairs. This is a pretty table. Okay. So I was at my table, and she gets walked in. We're sitting down and we're having good conversation, whatever it is. My phone, or at the time my BlackBerry, whatever it was, keep getting some messages. So I look at it and I say, "Excuse me," polite. And it's my mom, right? Oh. And I said to her, my mom is the only person, pardon me, that could interrupt like a date. Like, it's not any of my friends, whatever. It's just my mom and I are super close. She's like, "Yeah, I know you've mentioned that before." So fast forward, conversation, order some drinks, and then we order our food and whatnot. My phone vibrating or whatever again. I look at it again. It's my mom. I'm like, "So sorry, 2 seconds." She's like, "Yeah, no problem." Third time happens. So this is over the course of about 35 minutes or so, I'd say. Okay. To me, I've looked at my phone 2 times. It's my mom. It's not like some other chick I'm talking to.
Was your mom having troubles?
She wasn't having troubles. She just needed assistance with whatever it was. Like, I can't exactly remember what it was that she kept inquiring about. Could have been something stupid like, "Jay, I can't figure out the PVR. Like, how do I get into the recordings? I want to watch my show." And I was like, "So sorry, Mom, hit menu and go to recordings." Cool. All right. So sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so normal.
I'm not there. Like, I'm not even on it. Like, "Hey, yeah, so listen, what?" No. Yeah. No, she cute. Yeah, she cute. Yeah, she has booty too. Ma, come on, she's right here. I'm gonna call you. Ma, I'm gonna call you back.
I feel like that would be funnier.
Even that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I was doing that.
Yeah.
Third time it happens, she turns to me and she goes, "I can see that I think the relationship with your mom is weird."
What?
And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm sorry?" She's like, "Yeah, I think it's weird how much you talk to your mom." And I was like, well, I thought that like women wanted to find a man that like is close to their mom. Isn't that like indicative? How he treats his mom is how he'll treat his girl. Yeah. And she was like, "Yeah, but like we're at dinner and I've never been on a date with a guy that's talked to his mom 3 times in one meal. I think it's weird."
I feel like I think you're fucking weird.
Right? So check this. In real time, it was the first time I'd ever said it. Now I use it all the time. Yeah. But I said, "These are 2 perches." Yeah. All right. I go, my mom sits at the top of the family perch. Mm-hmm. And my woman, my girlfriend, fiance, my future wife sits at the top of my life perch. I go, she's always going to come before everything else in my life. My mom's always going to come before all the other family. I go, but these 2 perches, if you will never intersect. They will only operate parallel of one another.
That's amazing.
I said, "So tell me, we've been talking for a week, and my mom raised me, taught me everything I know.
Facts.
why in the fuck do you think you come before my mom?
Like, I don't even know you.
Like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I don't even talk to girls. I try not to talk to girls like that. I'm like, why in the fuck do you think you come before my mom?
Yeah.
And she stood up. She took her napkin off. She put it on the chair. And she didn't even say bye. She just left.
I'm so confused with that because it honestly makes no sense to me at all. I feel, but it's also normal. Some women get jealous.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, my dad had troubles his whole life having girlfriends because one, he put me and my sister first.
Right.
And the women he was with, they fucking hated that.
Right.
Right. So they would hate us and he would have to leave them.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that, some women just get so jealous. And I think jealousy is such a terrible emotion.
Oh,
yeah.
Terrible. And like it was crazy. It was like a scene out of a TV show. She's walking this way. Like I'm sitting, like this is how we were sitting, the orientation. And over here is a banister looking over the restaurant.
Yeah.
And she walks this way. The servers walked up with all our food.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
I thought you weren't eating.
So I'm sitting there just like trying to be poised because people have heard and or seen that are the neighboring tables. Yeah. And like I said, there's not a lot of black guys in Vancouver. I just talked to this white girl like this. Like it wasn't a great look for me. No. You know what I mean? Like I was like, why in the fuck do you think you come before my mom? They didn't hear the rest of it. You know what I mean? So like I'm already just like trying to be poised. And
you just
the server
like
comes over. I look like the dick, like I've done something to her.
Yeah.
And the server comes over and she's just like, she's not coming back, huh? No. So she puts on my prime rib and she's like, oh, we'll take this off the bill. And I was like, no, this isn't your guys' fault.
Yeah.
Take it in the back and you guys nibble on it and make sure it's on the bill. I'm gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
And I did. I sat there and I ate my prime rib by myself.
Oh my God.
Every now and then, like a different like female server would just kind of come over and like kind of keep me company, like sit down for 2 seconds, whatever, because I look like a loser.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was while I hold my head high now, that was easily my worst date. Like to date, like no one's ever just like got up and just left me there.
That's true. At the
table. Like if you think of the essence of what happened.
Yeah, how you would have felt.
Bustling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how I felt, how I looked. Oh my gosh, it was not good. But
because like thinking, if I think about it, I'm like, that's your worst date. But then if you put it in that way,
yeah,
that's pretty bad.
It was bad. Because I thought everything was going pretty well. And next thing you know, I'm cussing at this chick. She's leaving and I'm eating by myself.
I love how she just says nothing.
She said nothing. She just like, I said it and she just went, took off her napkin.
Oh my God.
Down, grabbed her coat and just left.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see that chick now and she like always wants to hug me up and shit in public. And I'm always like, move, get out of here.
Wait, you see her now and she acts like nothing happened?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what the
That's
fuck?
like a major problem in the city. Girls will do dudes dirty. Yeah. I'm not saying guys don't do chicks dirty, okay? Yeah. But girls here, particularly like pretty girls here, will do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And then think like, oh, that bothered you?
Like, I don't know why I love that.
What do you mean? You slept with my boy. Like, I thought we were talking.
Fuck,
yeah, bothered me.
Oh my God, of course that would bother me.
And you think, and like, that's the wildest part for me is that they then think that they can just like come and hug you up they see you wherever and they're with their friends and they want to be like, oh, that's my boy Jay. I'm like, that's your boy. That's not your boy Jay. That's not. Don't do that because he'll stiff arm you. He's the guy. He's the guy that'll be like, hi.
Oh my God.
Like, no hugs. Like my arms will stay by my sides.
Yeah.
I'll be looking at my friends like, I don't know her.
I think that's so funny because for me, I don't really have like a dating scene. Like I didn't ever explore. I had a relationship for 10 years and then I was single for 1 year and then now I'm with my boyfriend.
Right.
So when I hear stories from men and women, they have the worst things to say about Vancouver.
Oh, it's
men
the worst.
And women.
It's the worst.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Worst. Where did you grow up?
I was born here and then I lived in Africa until I was 7 and then I moved back here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, and I guess that speaks to like your relationship status because you wouldn't be privy to it. But I mean, you have cousins and girlfriends and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But I've never been anywhere that had a worse dating scene. And social media has made it worse, but it's like it's in the air. It's honestly, it's like a fabric of the people here. And I don't understand it, nor does anybody else in the world, because a lot of my friends that I hang with aren't from here. Like I get along best with people that aren't from here.
Okay.
And everybody knows it. Like I have friends that are in other cities that are like, oh yeah, chicks in Van are different, bro. And I'm like, very. I
love that. I think that's so crazy.
Because pretty women are everywhere, right?
Yes.
But it's a mentality thing. A lot of beautiful people on both sides. I'm even gonna say beautiful people because a lot of men, I'll see like these men acting weird. I'm like, bro, like you're going to age. Number one, you could get in a car accident today, and something happens to your face, and now you're not this handsome dude, and the same handsome dude, right?
Yeah.
Let it be about the quality of your soul, bro. Like a lot of these people have such tarnished personalities that no matter how pretty they are, the outsiders are like, you're so unattractive. And a lot of people come here and just see how people act, like the energy. You just walk around Yaletown at any given time and people feel so entitled. Like, oh, I work at Cactus Club, and they'll be with 8 girls and like, oh, I deserve to come in here and we deserve for drinks for free. And we're like, why?
Why? I was like, wait, what?
Why? Why is that so special to you?
Yeah.
But it's this mentality that, oh, we're good looking. So as by default, I can treat people however I want to, and I deserve everything because I was either born this way or I've paid to look this way. Yeah. And you don't see that in most places in the world. Just walk around. Where's your boyfriend from? Slovakia. Man, are you kidding me? Walk around Slovakia, Czech Republic, Austria, Italy, Paris. Walk around most places, and that's just Europe. I haven't even touched Trinidad, Barbados, Jamaica. Walk around most places in the world. There's beautiful people everywhere.
Of course.
Everywhere. And they don't act like they act in Vancouver. Go to Toronto. Go to Calgary. Like, it doesn't even have to be Europe. Yeah. It could literally be our neighboring province. Yeah. And they don't act like that.
I actually agree with you because I'm one to be with myself, right? And I don't like I don't want to say I don't like most of the people, but so most people out there in Vancouver, their personalities just aren't what suits me. Yeah. I'm very down to earth. I like to fucking meditate. I like to read, like keep to myself. Yeah. And I have noticed, even through this podcast, that people out there are kind of shitty. Very. Yeah. And they will use you. And, 100%. And they just don't care.
They don't care.
They're just, they come first.
Yeah. Oh my God. Listen, I sent a girl a message today about how selfish she is. Today.
Same.
Today. Today. By the time you guys watch this, it was today. Yeah. I was like, you're selfish. Yeah. You're selfish. Like I could never have won with you because everything that our entire interaction was about you. Yeah. And you masked it to be about us, but it wasn't. It was about you. Yeah. It's crazy. Like the level of narcissism here.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So you're lucky that you're booed up. Yeah. Lucky.
And dating for me, I had social anxiety, right? So, I was one of those girls I would cancel because I just couldn't. I literally could not. It would be like, it would take the world out of me to get up and go. And I just don't know why. That was just me. Right.
And I think that's acceptable because social anxiety is real. Anxiety is being anxious to be, even say it was a first date and you're gonna sit with a stranger. Like I read a report, somebody did this post and it wasn't even a meme. I think it was more scientific than that, but they were talking about like all of the associated dangers that women experience that men don't. And like that we don't even think about. It's like going on a date. You know how dangerous that is? Like
it's so
you
dangerous.
Can die. Yeah. Like dudes kidnap and murder chicks.
All day.
Going on a date is like one of the it's like going on a date with him with no one around. Like say you go for a walk or go to the park or go to his house or whatever. It was like amongst the riskiest things a woman could do. Facts. Above like driving, flying, having unprotected sex. It was like going on a first date with a dude where there's not a ton of other people is like the riskiest thing you could do. Yeah. And we don't think we never have that concern. We don't think about stuff like that.
I don't even like to walk home at night.
You shouldn't be walking home by yourself at night. Because of the associated risks. And we never think about that. So having anxiety, I think, and there's a huge push for talking about it being anxious and mental health and so on and so forth. That's acceptable. I think that where it becomes completely okay is if you just articulate that. Like I've dated or talked to girls where they're like, I'm sorry, I can't come to your, I do a huge summer barbecue at my house every year, right? So say her and I have been talking for a few months. It'd be nice for her to come meet my people, see me in my element, dancing and drinking, having a great time all day. I get why that's not the environment for you to be meeting my people for the first time if you suffer from social anxiety, because there's going to be 60 people in my backyard all drunk dancing and want to be talking to you.
And like that, because it's like that, I want to cry.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I go, cool. Yeah. But if you just say to me, I'm coming, and then don't, or you're like, I can't come because of, then, people will be like, well, why? I just want to be around your people. If I know, if you say to me, no, I get anxious in certain environments, more than understandable.
That's good that you're understanding like that.
For me at least. I mean, some guys or people might not, but like, if I know what's up, then I'm happy to cater to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is good. That's good. And I think that's crazy because my first date with my boyfriend now, I had no anxiety, which was crazy.
Nice.
And like, that's not it for me.
Right.
I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll just go. It's dinner. It's not a big deal. And like, it was just easy.
Right. Imagine if that was the time. Imagine if that was the time you got kidnapped.
Right. And then that's when I died.
Right. The one time that you're like feeling good about it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This guy still has you locked up in his basement. Right. That'd be hilarious. Not for you. It would be
terrible, but pretty funny.
Right? The one time. Oh my gosh.
So most actors, they end up moving to LA.
Yeah.
I wanted to get into that, but you've talked so much about LA already and how lonely it was there for you. Would you move there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like the only reason I'm kind of here-ish right now is COVID, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gave up my apartment courtesy of COVID. And I look forward to going back. Like my boy Ryan, he's my realtor, and we're looking at places, and I look forward to getting back. I love LA a lot, not just from as an actor, but it's like culturally rich. You know what I mean? The way I describe LA to anybody that's never been is whatever it is that you love, it's there. So if you love fashion, it's there. If you love like movies in the park, you can go. They set up screens all the time in various parks.
So much, yeah.
If you love oceans and swimming, surfing, mountains, music, club scene, restaurants, sports. There's more than one of almost every sport team there. You know what I mean? Like you could take a drive to see the Golden State Warriors, or you can watch the Lakers, or you can watch the Clippers. That's all California.
That's true.
Know?
Yeah.
You have baseball, like whatever it is that you love is in LA/California, and I really do love it. So I do look forward to getting back down there soon.
I love LA. I used to go a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't been since COVID, but the plan for us is definitely to move there.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's good for my business, my clothing store, and the podcast.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense.
I'm running out of influencers in Vancouver. It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of interesting people here, but you will run out soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just everywhere. Yeah.
There's people like, even, social media has really opened us up, of course. But there are like, my boy Birch will be sending me people that I've never even heard of like daily. He'll be like, oh, look, check out this podcast, or this person that designs these shoes. And they'll have like millions of followers. And I'm like, I've never even heard about this person.
Yeah.
I never even heard about them until right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's an abundance of talent.
Exactly.
And interesting people.
Yeah.
And it's because it's it's this place that people have come to from all over. You know what I mean? It's a lot of times you think, oh, LA, people just go there to make it. But the reality is because it's so diverse and so culturally rich, and the possibilities are endless, limitless. You find people coming from all walks of life because they want to be there. They want to come from Mexico to have a better life, but they can sell their food and make a great living because who doesn't love Mexican food? You know what I mean? Like whatever it is you do, that's a place that you could really do well. So it makes sense.
Yeah. I have one of my really good friends. His name's Ray. He lives in LA and he hates it.
Oh, wow.
Because he loves LA,
right.
Just the people.
Yeah.
He has a hard time with the people because he's very much like me, right? And so he doesn't get along with anyone there. And that's kind of what worries me. Right. I don't want to get lost in like the LA world,
right.
Do you find that for yourself or no?
Remember that it's going to go back to when I moved, I had my jump off, like where my career really started to take off, happened 8 months after I moved there. So I had about 8 months of being kind of like an unknown.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even then I actually told people, like when I would go to I started to go out a little bit. I met one or two friends and I would go to this one rooftop called EP&LP in West Hollywood, and I love it. And when I would be talking to people, I would say I was in sanitation.
Really?
And, yeah. And that was it. They didn't ask me more questions. They're like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm in sanitation.
Okay.
And they're like, and I'm like, how about you? And now we could just talk.
Yeah.
And part of me hated that I not had to lie, but that if I said I'm an actor, there's going to be two things that happen. Number one, they're going to go another actor from like abroad.
Yeah.
Move from Canada. Or the converse to that is now they want to be like, what, have you been in anything that I would know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So either way, the conversation, like I just knew that I would rather fib off the top to just avoid that conversation.
And then what do you think would happen if you guys really hit it off? And then you're like, oh, just kidding. I lied to you.
Yeah.
I'm actually an actor.
And that was the fear. Thankfully that never happened.
Yeah.
But that was the concern, that I could have gone on like a few dates with this person and I've maintained a lie. Now they know that I can lie to them, and I don't lie. One of the things I don't do to females, I made a promise myself when I was 25, like, you don't lie to girls. I used to be a bad guy. 25, I had an epiphany. I was like, you're not going to do this anymore.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So when I would fib to women about that, I almost put like an asterisk beside it, because I was like, it's for the greater good. It's not like, I'm not hiding the fact that like I'm a murderer. You know what I mean? It's just like, I want you just to get to know me, and then I can tell you later.
That makes sense.
But I find, or I've found that LA has tons of people that you're going to be great with. Tons of people that don't care for like the nonsense. They don't care. They live there because they love whatever it is they love. The beaches, the weather, the climate. So, and there are a lot of really, really great people. That's amazing. Do have, like, if we just call them the Yale Towners, they're there. You know what I mean? Like, you walk around West Hollywood, they're there. You walk around, if you're in Malibu, they're there.
I guess they're just everywhere.
They're everywhere, really. You know what I mean? But walk around London, same thing. Leicester Square, like, you're gonna experience those people everywhere in the world. But if you're trying to find the good ones, you will. Yeah, they exist.
I've never had a bad experience there, so I believe it 100%.
Yeah, I'm surprised your boy hates it.
Yeah, he always tells people, he's like, I always make sure to tell them I live right outside of LA.
Yeah.
I was just like, what? Okay.
Yep. People do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, he's like, I just get a bad rap, and I'm like, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I like this episode because it's a lot of positive, happy shit. But I do want to ask you, what is one of the most embarrassing moments of your life?
This one, I wouldn't say this is one of the most embarrassing. Is definitely one that I'm still kind of shaking my head at. There was this girl that I had a crush on for like a while, and every single time I saw her, I tried to talk to her, and she just like wouldn't talk to me. Right? She would tell me no. Like, it wasn't. She didn't even play around. She would just be like, no, it's not gonna happen.
And you just kept.
I just kept trying. Persistence. Persistence is key, right? Yeah. And the craziest part about it is, I would see her in different places, and it's like, I don't know if it was her hair or how she dressed or whatever it was, but almost every single time I didn't recognize her. I just felt like I needed to talk to that girl.
That's crazy.
So the last time I saw her, I'm at this bar, and she's bartending, and I'm like, hey, or I ordered a drink, whatever it is, and then I'm like, hey, what do you like? What's your background? Like, where are you from? And she's like, oh, my mom is French Canadian, my dad is Black American. Okay. So I was like, all right. So I wanted to kind of delve into that because I thought that might be a segue, but I just let her get back to work, because I'm also like that guy that likes to bother women when they're at work or like when they're at the gym, even if like it's not completely inappropriate, just say hi. You're at work and you're working out. You're doing your thing. You're doing your thing. Yeah. But in this particular case, like I said, like every other time, I'm looking at her and I'm like, I just gotta talk to her. So she makes some drinks. She comes back, and I say to her, I'm like, oh, what's your name? And she's like, I'm not going to say her name.
No.
So she says her name, and I'm like, we've had this conversation before, right? And she goes, yeah, a few times, Jamie. I'm like, cool. Oh, so I spend the next, no joke, I spent about an hour. I'm posted at the bar. Yeah. My boys are like, what are you doing, dude? I'm like, you go do your thing. I'm here. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to make as much small talk as possible. And I say to her, like, she had told me one of the times we had spoken before, she said, the reason I don't want to go out with you is because the first time that you met me, you weren't nice to me. You were unkind to me.
Oh, why?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So I've been trying to like A, figure that out, but B, just like rectify the situation, almost like redemption versus romance to start. Like, let me allow myself to redeem myself. Right. And I said to her, I'm like, it really bothered me because like kindness is kind of my thing. Yeah. Like I have fun and I love women and I love sex and all that stuff. But like in general, I try to be as kind to people as possible. Mm-hmm. And I want the world to be a little bit kinder because we're in like a pretty terrible place right now. You know what I mean? We could be better. Yeah. So I'm working on her. I'm like, you got to give me a number. Let me take you out one time. Just one time. Redemption. She's like, nah, I never get my number. I'm like, you got it. You have to. So I work on her for more than an hour. She finally gives me her number. Right?
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm like, yes,
I
did it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pumped because now I'm in my mind. I'm thinking of like the sweet things that I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna do a full. Like I'm gonna wait for a day that she has from 4 until like 11, and I'm gonna pick her up. And we're gonna go like play some mini golf, and then we're gonna go for like a nice little dinner. She can bring clothes. She'll change in the car wherever we are. We'll go in for a nice dinner, and then we'll go for a drive and watch the stars or something. Like I'm making a nice evening.
That's cute. Right? That's so cute. Yeah.
I'm walking from the bar to the bathroom, and I come out of the bathroom, and this is the part I've purposely left one part out. I walk out of the bathroom. And her best friend who works at that place are standing there with their arms crossed, and they're like, so which one of us do you want to go on a date with?
Stop.
What? And I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Apparently, I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Apparently, on my walk from the bar to the bathroom, my drunk ass decided that it was just great timing to try to talk to another chick that was working at the same place. So I must have, and I don't remember. So now I'm paraphrasing. So I must have said to her, I must have said something like, hey, how are you? Like, how's your night going? Good. What's your name? Name. I don't know what it is. Listen, like, I think you're real sweet. Like, let me take you out sometime. She's like, nah, like, da. I go, come on. What? You don't like handsome guys that like love their moms? Like, I must have said some cute shit. She goes, all right. Gives me her number or takes mine or whatever it is. I'm going to the bathroom. I have listen, I just spent an hour right there. I just spent an hour working on this chick that hasn't given me an opportunity for 2 years.
And
now my drunk dumbass decides to do that. Obviously not thinking or knowing that they're best friends. Obviously.
Holy fuck.
Obviously. So I come out of the bathroom. They're both standing there staring at me. And she goes, well, so which one of us do you want to take on a date? I'm stunned. I'm drunk. The answer should have been...
You would, yeah, be like, you.
You. It should have been you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you. There's no other answer. You. Yeah. Sorry to you, but you. I've been working on her for 2 years. You. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. You.
Yeah.
My drunk dumbass goes, well, what's your preference?
Oh, holy fuck. I would have smacked you.
Right? That's what I just... Listen, I told my mom this story. She was like, Jamie, what? What? I go, what's your... And I still don't even know what I was aiming for.
Yeah, what were you trying to get out of there?
What was I trying to say there?
Yeah.
What's your preference? Like, who do you guys think I should go out with? Or do we both go on a date? Or should we all go together? Like, what was I? What do you mean? What is your preference? So I said that shit, and then I turned around and like walked to the door and just left.
I would have left, yep.
I didn't say bye to anybody. And thank God my boy that was driving, he was like, you ready to go? I'm like, yep. And we walked out and left.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I still called her.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Listen, she gave me the number. I thought I could redeem it.
No.
I thought I could like make this right. And the very first thing she said when she picked up the phone, she was just like, wow, I'm actually pretty surprised you called me still. And I was like, yeah. Needless to say, that conversation didn't go my way.
No, but, I was gonna say.
But yeah, that was really embarrassing. And I don't ever make those types of mistakes, nor do I like try to disrespect people like that. But liquor, man, that's why you don't mix your liquor. You can't drink white liquor and dark liquor.
I don't know how you fucked that up.
Listen to me. I just 2 years.
One, you continuously forget who she
years, right?
Two, you hit on her friend.
She said her name, and I was like, and I said it like I mouthed it out loud, and I'm like, we've had this conversation before, huh?
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, a few times, Jamie. It's like, oh God.
You and then I so hard.
I got the number from a girl that never gives it out. Everybody, like I've asked about her, like everybody's like, nah, I've never seen her with a guy. Like she stays to herself. She blah 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 blah, and she gave it to me. And then on a 20-second walk to the bathroom, I fucked it up. And the only way that I could look at that, like when I was telling my boy, I was like, that girl. And right now the listeners are like, this guy's an idiot. Like, yeah. But the only way that I could look at that is like, God didn't want me to talk to that girl. Like,
no, it wasn't meant to be.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if every single time I see her, like there was an attraction, like something, that girl ruins my life, or I ruin her life, or she gets pregnant and we're not together. there's a reason I was not supposed to be with that girl.
100%.
Because every single time, I can't remember her name, but yet I'm still drawn to her, is bad.
Yeah.
And he was like, you're not listening, dude. Lightning bolt. Like, I'm gonna, like,
fuck this up.
I'm going to end this, man. You're not focusing, dude. I'm trying to tell you she's not for you.
Yeah.
And that was pretty definitive.
Yeah.
So next time I see her, I'm not going to try.
No. It was definitely a blessing.
Yeah, I hope so.
You just tell yourself this to make yourself feel better.
Yeah, it's like find a way to justify my mistake. But yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's hilarious. She'll probably be telling the tales of Jamie for the rest of her life.
And my mom was like, oh, now her and her friend are gonna be slandering you. And they're gonna be telling everybody. I was like, well, probably. Like, there's no software around that.
Yeah.
But hopefully, it just sticks within her little circle. And
probably.
At the end of the day, like, who cares? Like,
everyone fucks up.
Everybody fucks up.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. But I couldn't believe it was that. It wasn't even like I slid into her friend's DMs the next week. You know what I mean? Like, I got her number. You know what I even did? I folded it. I folded it. I won't show the camera, but like, I took a picture of it. My drunkenness, I had the sense to go, let me take a picture of it in case I lose this piece of paper that she wrote it down on.
Wow.
Because I can't mess this up.
Yep. And then you go.
And then I walked 22 steps and messed it up with her best friend. Not even like a coworker. You know what I mean? Like, it's just some random coworker that goes, oh my God, did you see that hot guy? And then she's like, which hot guy? And he's like, oh, I don't know how to describe him, Mom. He was wearing da 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 da. And she's like, in her head, she goes, oh, that sounds familiar. Did you get his name? No, I just gave him my number though. You know what I mean? Like, it was her best. She for sure had gone in that time at some point in the hour and been like, he's still trying. And then the best friend goes, come on, just give it to him that he's being you know what I mean?
Exactly.
The best friend probably helped my case.
Probably.
And then I walked to the bathroom and I shoot myself. A fool of myself. My mom was like, you can't be acting like that in public. I'm like, Mom, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I don't even to this moment right now as I tell the story, I don't remember.
How did you get so drunk?
Just birch, man, hanging out with these guys. Like, these guys, they just drink too much liquor. I know my limit. I usually play within it when I'm drinking my wine. Yeah. I know how much I can have. Yeah. I start drinking. Birch loves tequila, so he's doing tequila shots. I like Grand Marnier and brown liquor. I'm drinking brown liquor. And we went to a couple different spots, and then we end up at this one place, and that was a wrap.
Shit.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
Meant to be.
Yeah. Meant not to be.
Meant not to be. That's hilarious. No, that was a great episode. I loved it so much. I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited for this episode to come out. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you so much. I love all the messages that I'm getting. Yeah. You want to say bye? Yeah.
Yeah. Keep watching, y'all. She's the one to watch. I'm saying it right now, right here. She's the one to watch. Share this. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Don't clown me and my stupidity, but show this one a lot of love. She's the next big one. I promise you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Love you guys. Bye.